How to increase sexual desire for a woman today. Now, this video is going to be for men that are just dating a woman or in relationships. Some of the tips that I'm going to share in here with you guys, it's really important that you pay close attention until the end because I have some good ones for you. But also, I need you to really self-examine your own relationships and see if this is something that will work for you. Because not every single one of these tips is for everybody. It's literally for you to actually choose from. But one of the things that I want to start from in the beginning is understand this. As a woman myself, I will tell you this for sure. In order for me to be sexually desired to my partner or to a guy that I've been dating, is he has to have and exude confidence for himself. Okay, not arrogance, but confidence. And then secondly, he has to make me feel safe. So I'm going to really talk about those two things before I actually give you some also tips on what to do if you're in a relationship and when you're dating. So first things first, let's talk about confidence and then safety. What happens for us as women, when a man inherits confidence within himself, it really gives us a nature of desire. We desire this because confidence also shows up very strong, and women are attracted to that masculine component of a man, of structure, and also has that little bit of a mystery component. Like, why is he so confident? What does he have that I don't, right? What can he bring to the table? And it also gives you that notion of he's different from a lot of other men, because confidence is a trait that automatically someone gets magnetized to. We tend to go towards somebody that's confident more because it also exudes positivity. It exudes happiness. It exudes fun conversations. It exudes not taking yourself so seriously. It exudes lightheartedness. So of course it's going to be fun. But confidence also, we have that component, and also the other component of really knowing ourselves, where we can get in those deeper emotional conversations. And we can know what we want when we can playfully just actually do a dance when we're communicating. This will happen naturally when you know who you are as a person. So with that said, women desire a man sexually when he has and exudes confidence, but also it doesn't stop there. The confidence needs to also show structure, discipline, and safety. Okay, so one of the biggest things is if your energy behind you is I just want to sleep with her only, and you're just really focused on, or I have to get her to sleep with me to get her to like me, she's going to be able to feel this in some way or another before or after it happens. And so what's really important is that thirsty energy, yes, thirsty energy, is actually going to position you as he's a player, or there's something I can't really get to and I'm just not connecting with him. Because so many times men have been literally taught to get a woman to sleep with them to get him to like you, which actually does increase as the relationship goes on, the emotional component of like her being attached to you in some way. But strong women don't get attached like this. They get attached more when a man offers that stability and the security. And also when you can set yourself aside as, I have standards for the women that I date. I know my value, I know my worth, and I just don't want to sleep around with anybody. And you're really getting to know someone. So once we get there and you have this leadership skill about you where you stand in confidence and integrity, and their conversations are more around getting to know her as a person, it's really important, because then when you do, you can slowly pace this, right? And let's say that the woman wants to be sexually intimate with you. You can open up, obviously, if this is something you choose to do, and be sexually intimate with her. But one of the ways in order to get there is, if you can exude these two things, how you build sexual desire is, let me take you through the process. One is when you start to get comfortable with one another, create nicknames for each other, banter with each other, make fun of each other with little things. Find something that you can have a nickname for and make fun of her for, right? As it's and not in a way where you're putting her down, of course, but you want to do it where you're also flirting with her and you're like, oh, when you laugh, you're so cute. You know, things like this, right? When you look at me like this, it just gets me really attracted to you. right? Where you're actually being able to not only stand with confidence and have this emotional, deep conversations with her, which we're going to get into soon, but also you're obviously able to bring in this playfulness about you. And you're actually get her a little bit shy at times. And so what happens here is your demeanor can change. And then from there, you can build these conversations to actually connect with a woman. And so one way to build conversations to get her to desire you intimately and sexually is to literally have emotional conversations. This is the key to a woman's heart, guys. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. So for example, and I talk a lot about this in my Algorithm of Attraction program, but I do a deep dive into this. But one of the things that I would encourage you to do is when you can practice with friends, family, whatever, is emotional conversations, is when someone is telling you a story. Let's say, oh, it's hard to do by myself, but let's just say you're like, oh, I love your red shirt. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. My grandmother got this for me. My grandmother lives in Puerto Rico and I really, really miss her. And then, okay, keyword association, guys. Grandmother, Puerto Rico, she really misses her grandmother, whatever the case may be, right? Oh, your grandmother lives in Puerto Rico. Oh, mine lives in California. I haven't seen her in a year, but I'm actually going to be traveling in 6 months out there with my grandmother. My grandmother actually raised me. She's like a mom to me. I know what it's like to actually be so close to your grandmother. Are you really close to your grandmother? Yes, I am. My grandmother also raised me, blah, 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 growing up. Really? Why did she raise you? Oh, because my mom wasn't in my life. Oh, me too. Similarity. Guys, I'm having a conversation with myself if you don't get it. You're picking up on keywords. And now do you see how fast that just went a little deeper? And imagine how much deeper in a real conversation, how much longer it can go. So keyword association is really important and finding that similarity and staying there, because a lot of times we're like, question. How do I get into emotional connection? And I'm just going to continue to ask her questions, but we're not being present in that moment to pick up on those keywords. So in order to build that sexual desire with a woman, what's really important is that we connect with a woman. And we're not portraying ourselves as I'm seeking to sleep with her, so I have to connect with her. And I'm not chasing her to sleep with her. I'm not chasing her in hopes I can sleep with her, right? Because a man that knows he can have sex or sexually desire a woman or get a woman to sexually desire him, whatever, knows this, that it doesn't have to happen just because he wants it. It happens because it actually flows into it. And he inherits this type of mentality that if she wants me, she also has to work for me too. And that's the difference. Also, too, an important note to say when you're communicating is you want a woman to feel girly in her presence with you. A lot of times when women are in their feminine, they can be more comfortable and relaxed and then find you desirable. So the way that we want to make her more girly is actually differentiate yourself from a friend talking to her. So showing intent once in a while that makes her comfortable. You don't want to do it in the beginning, but you also need to be very in tune with social cues and making sure that she's adapting towards you. She's being playful. She's also being flirty. Maybe she's, having deeper conversations with you, complimenting you as well. And this is where you can get your intent to be known. A lot of times we go wrong with intent and we say, oh, I need to show her my intent. So I need to show her I like her. So I'm going to tell her, like, what are you looking for? I'm looking for a relationship. That's my intent. No. The difference with intent is you need to show her that you're not a friend. You are interested in her. So how do we do this? Example. Let's just say that she takes a sip of water and or a sip of coffee and she spills it on her shirt. And you're like, oh my gosh, let me get you a towel and something to clean that off with. And you hand it to her. Okay, great. That's something a friend can do, right? In that moment, what we can do is get inventive and say, let me give you get, a towel and something to clean it with and go, I can clean this for you, but you might like it too much. So either I can clean it for you or you can clean it yourself. Would you rather be? Because I think I can clean it better than you anyways, because I can see it better. And make it a joke. And now she knows your intent a little bit more, right? You see, I mean, I can go back and forth with this stuff all the time. Now, this is the difference, is you're showing that intent and you're literally giving her the opening to become more playful with you, to become more girly with you. And so she sees that you admire her. She sees that you're comfortable and just having fun in the nature of who you are. And then with this, your masculine in your body energy, your body languages, your behaviors, your conversation, and even your tonality. So when you're neutral in your tonality and you actually are in this to look at this as like, I need to not just be your friend. Because a lot of times men are like, I'm just going to go in this and be a friend. And I'm also going to be nice. And then hopefully this woman will like me. No. Attraction is a verb. You have to work for it, right? So with that said, it comes naturally when you find yourself as an attractive person, because a lot of people are like, oh, this is too many games. This is okay, literally, if you're being too nice or just coming in as a friend, how do you expect someone to pick up on your social cues anyways, right? So the same thing goes for the woman as well, obviously. Also, you want to make it very clear that she is someone that you desire sexually as well. So we have to be really careful here, because if we haven't built trust, like I'm talking about, connection, like I'm talking about, then we can't just go into this and escalate right away. And I actually have this lined out in my seduction map in my algorithm of attraction program. But what's really important is you have to really kind of be very open about her beauty, right? So a lot of times women, especially nowadays, are so insecure about their beauty, and they'll say, oh, thank you, but I have to, put on some makeup before we FaceTime, or I'm not ready to FaceTime yet, let's just say. And you just say, I want to see how you look first thing in the morning, because I bet you are beautiful, right? It's completely different. I bet you're so sexy when you wake up in the morning. Let me FaceTime you in the morning, right? So now it's different. She sees that you desire and you're sexually attracted to her in some ways. You have to find your little openings to set yourself apart. Now, you're not going to do this constantly, back after bat after bat after bat, and continue to do this and say, I gotta not be a friend. No, it's literally, I tell you guys, like the magic carpet ride, like the heartbeat. You balance out those things. You also want to be compassionate and show empathy as somewhat being a friend, but also too, we want to show that we are desiring her and letting her step into her feminine as well. Now, once you do this, you can build up the sexual tension for you. Think of it like a balloon, and it's just blowing, and you're blowing all this sexual tension in it, and then till it pops. That's what you want to do with the woman, right? And this becomes fun. It becomes, it just is like a ride where she's going to be talking about you with her friends and everything. So if you do this the right way, what you're going to do is you're going to build that sexual tension. You don't want to continue to hook up so quickly all the time, but build it. Tease her when you see her, especially if you guys have hooked up before. Enjoy that tease before you guys get intimate together. And so the sexual desire for you will continue to build after those days that she's not with you, because that teasing point of before you get intimate with a woman is really vital, because that is the moment that there's so many endorphins going, there's so much dopamine going, that moment that you can stay with her and tease her just enough, not for too long, but just enough that she remembers. And now one thing that happens is you kind of have this leadership in the choice of when you guys will be intimate in that particular moment. And so now the balance of control shifts, and you're leading her, and she can step into the feminine and follow into that, and literally sometimes be a little bit submissive if this is what she likes. So this is what's so important, guys. And then from there, the thing that we have to understand is when we get into those moments of getting a woman to sexually desire us, it just doesn't happen only in the bedroom. This happens in the nature of how we touch her. Do we touch her when we sit on the couch with her? Are we touching the back of her neck, possibly playing with her hair, possibly scratching her? There's so many veins here, scratching her hand right here. This is a huge one, guys. If you can do this while you're sitting down and just kind of scratching her arm as well, to build and increase that tension between you. And so one of the 3 steps that I had broken out for you in this video is really about understanding your mindset first. Secondly, how you are going to interact with this woman. And thirdly, the physical notion of how to actually build this sexual desire and increase sexual desire to get her to want you more after this happens. And especially with the teasing part before any intimacy happens. So what happens here is if you're looking to reignite that sexual desire in your current relationship, what I always say too, and this is great for even if you're just dating, is always get that moment of space between you, right? You want to create that feeling of missing someone too. And it's not where you're like taking weeks off from time and playing this game. No, it's literally, and I've talked about this a lot of times, about creating the life that you love so you can adhere, you can have space in your relationships with women or in your current relationship. And so what you want to do is actually build that desire by, or if you're in a relationship now, what are the things that you need to work on? I mean, physically too. How can you be better physically for your partner so they can see you in a different light? Because sometimes it can get stagnant, right? In building sexual desire, especially also too, sometimes in dating, it can become stagnant. So do things that are fun. The more intimate that you get, the more that you're dating, you're going to notice that you want to do things that are fun. And also you want to actually, even for your partner, have fun and flirty texts every once in a while and lead those flirty texts once in a while as well. And then you can stop them where it's not always just that. A lot of times where men go wrong is they think just because a woman is flirting with them through text, they have to continue to stay there and then say, send me a pic. No. Flirt with her because listen, you already know what she looks like out of there. Unless she's open to sending you that pic, then you can do that. But what we don't want to do is just send me that pic right away. We want to also tease her there. And one good line that I had and one of my coaches actually told me about was she posted a photo by, and this is a great example, by the pool. And the man replies, I would love to be that ray of sun. What did he say? I would love to be that sun ray so I can explore all parts of your body, right? So literally, guys, like you have to just be you and be inventive in these ways. And I have so many other ways of how to flirt and how to do this through my text manual and my membership program and everything else that I would really encourage you to do. And if you love this content and want more great content to understand how to get a woman to sexually desire you, watch this video right over here that I have especially made for you. And also, if you're stopped and you're just done with making mistakes, download this free 7 common mistake ebook that men make when attracting women that is free and just for you. And I'll see you soon, and I'll see you again right over here in this next video.